All right, welcome to Photoshop Basics Part 3, and this will be it for the basics part of our class review. What I do want to talk about here, first off, is adding some text. We haven't talked about text, but occasionally you're going to want to add some text. So here is your type tool. For the purposes of the early part of this class, the only things we will use with the type tool will be located up here on the options bar at the top. This is the options bar that changes based on what tool you're clicked on. When we're clicked on the type tool, you can see here is the font, and then here's your size. You can use the drop down, or you can point to the letters and click and drag like so. And then here's left, center, right. Here's your color. This is text warp. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then this is advanced text stuff, which we won't use yet. So in order to type something, you have to choose your font, and then you're going to come over here and either click, or you can draw a box. But I don't draw a box. I think it's best to just click, unless you're like typing a paragraph. Clicking creates what they call point to text. So when you click, this is really big, so I should probably use something smaller. When you click, then you'll see the cursor, see it's blinking, and then you can type your word. So there's my word. It's set to the right, that's why it typed that direction. I could hit center there. And then text is going to be considered something that you have to accept. So enter isn't going to work because it would enter. And double clicking doesn't work because it selects the word. So to accept text, you have to hit the check mark. And then you can take your move tool and move your text around and put it wherever you'd like. You can also warp text, but that warp button is not up there unless you're clicked on the text tool. So if I'm on the type tool, I can come up here and click on the text warp. And this little box comes up. And you can choose what kind of warp. So you can arc it or arch it or do all kinds of little flaggy things and stuff like that. And then you can modify these sliders to determine exactly how much it goes of each of those. All right. You can also use your transform, so Control T, to size your text up to make it bigger. So you can size it that way, and you can rotate your text just like the other. And then again, double click, check mark, or enter to accept. You're working on it. All right, so that's pretty much it with text. Again, if you want to change the color of text, you got to click back in your letters, and then you can click and drag and change your color up here at the top. All right, back to the move tool. The last little thing I want to mention is styles. The styles panel is here. If you can't find it or yours isn't there, you'll go to the window menu and find styles that way. It'll bring it to the front. These are cool things to add to text or shapes, and it gives it kind of just a different appearance. Basically, it's adding a whole bunch of effects or layer styles. And you can edit those layer styles too. So if there's something about it you don't like, you can choose on here to see what that is. Like there's the shadow part, there's the bevel part, and there's the gradient overlay part. So if I don't like that in the middle, I could just turn that part off if I wanted to. There are more styles if you click on the little drop down here. They're in categories, which you can't see, I don't think, on your screen. They're categories, so like this is abstract styles, and I'll say OK, and then you've got different ones that are in here. There we go. And then if I wanted to, I could double click on this to bring up the box. So, maybe I don't like this purple color and I'd rather have a pink color. I could come up here and modify this as well. And you don't have full control because there's other things at work here too that are doing different things. But that's one way to modify it. And I can mess with these numbers until I get it like I want. So again, that's styles. If you don't like the styles, you can always right click in here and completely remove the layer styles. That's always an option too. Disabling just turns all the eyeballs off, but you can go to clear and it just puts it back to normal. It gets rid of all of them. So if you're like having trouble, you can always clear your layer styles out. All right, so that's pretty much most of our basics and most of Concepts A. There's one part that I haven't talked about. Do want to mention saving. So when we save, we should always save in Photoshop format. So when you're in here, make sure it's the top one, the PSD format, not PDF, because that one's not going to keep your layers. PSD will keep your layers, and it will be represented by a blue icon. However, this blue icon, if we create them this way, those are not ones that we can put on a web page. So like if you're going to put it on your portfolio, it can't be a PSD. So to make it for a portfolio, we're going to use File, Save for Web. So we're going to save it to use it for the web. Don't go to Save As. Some people try to do that and dig through the menus. Don't do that. Just go to Save for the Web. And then in here, it's going to show you your picture. What's cool about Save for the Web is it doesn't mess with the original, but like you can size it down. So like maybe it's too big and you're going to put it on a web page and you don't want it to be so big. You can come over here and size it down and then click, and it's going to show you how big it would actually be on the web page. So maybe this size is fine for the web page, but I don't want to resize this because what if I wanted to print it? Then it would be too little. Okay, so Save for the Web just lets you save it for the internet at a smaller size if you want. And you'll definitely want to choose JPEG. That is the version that's going to be the highest quality for color images. I go to JPEG high, or you can modify that quality yourself to be higher, but usually 60 to 70 is perfectly fine on JPEG. And then when you hit save, you would save it out to your portfolio folder. It'll say images only, that's what it should say, but it does automatically put that JPEG on there. All right, there you go. That's our Photoshop basic concepts. With the exception of talking about adjustment layers, you should know everything from Photoshop Basics and Concepts A.